It is great to be back in Bucharest, to be among allies, partners and friends. And let me begin with thanking Romania for hosting all of us here today, and also for Romania's many and very strong contributions to the alliance and to our collective defense, to our shared security. Romania is contributing in many different ways. As a contributor to NATO operations in Afghanistan and in Kosovo, as the host of our ballistic missile defense site in Devizulu, and as a nation committed to spending 2% of GDP on defense. So Romania is helping to keep NATO's nearly 1 billion citizens safe. The NATO Parliamentary Assembly also makes an essential contribution to that mission. And I want to thank President Paolo Ali and the Secretariat for all the very hard and important work you do to make this organization function as well as it does. And of course, I would also like to thank you, all the members of the NATO Parliamentary Assembly. NATO relies on you to engage with your colleagues and with the people you represent. You can help explain what NATO is and what NATO does. You approve national defense budgets, and you assure that the alliance has the tools to do its job. That is why I am so pleased to be here together with you today. I'm very impressed by the work you are doing on the topics very high on the NATO agenda, such as cooperation with the European Union, security in the Black Sea region, the European defense industry, challenges from the south, and of course burden sharing within the alliance. Today I want to outline where the alliance stands right now and where we are going. Then I look forward to your questions and to our discussion after my speech. So, colleagues and friends, NATO is an alliance that keeps its promises. We say what we do, and we do what we say. We are adapting to a new security environment, and we are adapting to new challenges and to a new security threat. We are adapting to the new security challenges we face, expanding our presence in the east of the alliance, stepping up our response to the threats from the south, increasing our resilience to hybrid and cyber threats, boosting our support for partners, and taking our cooperation with the European Union to a new level. I have been to all of our new multinational battle groups in the east of the alliance. I have seen them in action, and I met their commanders and the troops in Estonia, in Latvia, in Lithuania, and in Poland. The battle groups are in place and fully operational, sending a clear message that an attack on one ally will be regarded as an attack against us all. The speed and the efficiency with which they were deployed reflects allies' strong commitment to our collective defense. I want to thank Canada, Germany, the United States, and the United Kingdom for leading the 4 battle groups, as well as the 16 other allies who are contributing, including the 4 host nations. But of course, we are not only strengthening our forward presence in the northeast of the alliance, but also in the southeast. Here in Romania, our multinational framework brigade is now operational. And I want to thank Romania for hosting the brigade. And I'm looking forward to visiting it later today with President Ioannis. We're also seeing increased Allied presence in the Black Sea. Allied jets continue to patrol the skies of Romania and Bulgaria as part of our ongoing air policing mission. Canadian pilots flying alongside Romanians and Italian pilots working with their Bulgarian colleagues. Our deployments are a direct response to Russia's aggressive actions in Ukraine. NATO's actions are defensive, proportionate, and entirely in line with our international commitments. We are concerned by Russia's military buildup close to our borders and its lack of transparency when it comes to military exercises such as Zapad 2017. This highlights the importance of our dual-track approach to Russia, which combines strong defense with meaningful dialogue. In the NATO-Russia Council, throughout bilateral engagements, and through military-to-military contacts. We continue to call on Russia to abide by its international commitments. Russia is our neighbor. Russia is here to stay. We don't want to isolate Russia. NATO doesn't want a new Cold War. Our actions are designed to prevent, not provoke conflict. And we are committed to transparency and predictability, which are in everybody's interests. Our alliance has to face many different threats and challenges at the same time. A pressing concern, of course, is the arc of instability from Afghanistan to the Middle East and North Africa, which has inspired terrorist attacks in our own countries. NATO has played a role in the fight against terrorism for many years. Our largest ever military operation is in Afghanistan, where we today have around 13,000 troops from 39 different NATO countries and partner countries training Afghan security forces, helping them to fight terrorism and stabilize their own country. I have just returned from a trip to Afghanistan together with the Secretary of Defense in the United States, Secretary Mattis. There is a renewed commitment to our efforts in Afghanistan. I have seen how well NATO troops are working with Afghan security forces, providing training and support to them, helping them to make progress on the battlefield and reduce their casualties. The situation in Afghanistan is challenging. We all understand the cost of staying in Afghanistan, the human cost and the financial cost. But the cost of walking away would be much higher. If NATO leaves too soon, we risk Afghanistan returning to a state of chaos, a safe haven for international terrorism. The last time that happened, then it led to 9/11, the 9/11 terrorist attack on the United States, in which almost 3,000 people were killed. We cannot allow that to happen again, and that is why we remain committed to Afghanistan. We are also stepping up elsewhere. The alliance is now a full member of the global coalition to defeat ISIS. Our AWACS surveillance planes are helping the coalition to better understand the situation in the air. NATO is training Iraqi security forces, bolstering their ability to win the fight against ISIS. And Iraqi troops trained by NATO and allies have put their skills to use in the battle for Mosul and elsewhere. We are making progress. ISIS is losing ground, and they are on the run. At the same time, we are boosting our support, the support we give to partners in the Middle East and North Africa, including training programs in countries such as Tunisia and Jordan. We are working to improve situational awareness and information sharing so that allies can take even swifter action against threats we face, including terrorism. That is why we have set up our new intelligence division at the NATO headquarters and the hub for the South in Naples. And we are working hard throughout the alliance to make our societies more resilient to attacks. Resilience is essential to our ability to resist hybrid threats. Such threats are quicker, more potent, and more intense than ever before, combining many different elements, including cyber attacks, disinformation, and the use of hard military force, from tweets to tanks. Guarding against such threats is an increasingly vital part of NATO's mission. And that is what we are doing, including by strengthening our cooperation with the European Union. Just last week, I took part in the inauguration of the Helsinki Hybrid Center of Excellence, together with High Representative Vice President Federica Mogherini of the European Commission. Neither NATO nor the EU alone have all the tools to tackle the challenges alone. So that is why we must work more closely together. We have now started the preparations for the next NATO summit, which will take place in Brussels next year at our new headquarters. We will continue to build on the decisions we took at the Wales and the Warsaw summits, upgrading our collective defense and helping bring stability and security to our neighborhood, both east and south. Relations with Russia will, of course, be an important topic, as will our cooperation with the EU and the continuing modernization of the alliance. Crucially, going forward, allies need to invest in defense. At the Wales summit, as you know, in 2014, all allies made a pledge to stop the cuts in defense budgets and gradually move towards spending 2% of GDP on defense within a decade. The good news is that we have seen real progress. After years of decline in 2015, we saw a real increase in defense spending across European allies and Canada. This continued in 2016, and this year, 2017, we estimate an even greater annual increase of 4.3% in real terms. That is 3 consecutive years of accelerating defense spending. The trend is up, and with your help, we will keep it up. Last year, 5 allies met the 2% target. Romania has announced it will join them this year, with Latvia and Lithuania doing the same next year. Increased defense spending is about making sure we have what we need in a more dangerous world. But it's also about burden sharing within the alliance. and keeping the transatlantic bond strong. That is why defense spending is so important, and why I rely on you all to make the case for more and better spending back home in your national parliaments. One way of doing that is by addressing the fragmentation of the European defense industry. And let me just give you some examples of what I mean when I speak about the fragmentation of the European defense industry. The US has one type of main battle tank, while Europe has 17 different types. The US has 4 types of frigates and destroyers. Europe has 29. The US has 6 types of fighter planes. Europe has 20. Think what that means for our ability to work and fight together and the unnecessary costs involved. This is a challenge NATO is addressing throughout our work on capability development. We are also now stepping up our cooperation with the EU on the issue of capability developments. And I strongly welcome the commitment of EU leaders. So, dear colleagues and friends, many thanks for your efforts. The Alliance is better prepared to face a new and changing security environment. This Assembly has long played an essential role in NATO's evolution. As NATO continues to adapt to an uncertain world, I know I can count on you all to shape the debate, to engage with citizens on our behalf. Thank you for everything you do. I look forward to your questions and our discussion. Thank you so much.